Hi, good afternoon, everyone. We'll be starting shortly. All right, let's get started. Hello, everyone. First of all, I'd like to wish everyone a happy new year from the MCS team. My name is Kaylee Sam, and thank you very much for taking the time to join us on our first webinar of 2024. Today, we are discussing preparation for TD4s. This is what will be on the agenda for today. All right, so what is the purpose of this webinar? This session will help anyone who has not closed off the year, and if you have, we will show you how to adjust employee data to ensure accurate TD4s. What we will cover, we will address some of your frequently asked questions that relate to year-end and TD4s. We will also cover how to adjust figures using the TD4 maintenance, and in the end, we will show a quick guide to closing off 2023. All right, so now I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Feel free to leave your questions in the question box above, and I'll be handing you over to Anisi Reese.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Are you all hearing me?
Anisi, I believe your mic is on mute.
Okay, you all are hearing me now? Back. I have been really talking all this time. Kelly, are you hearing me now?
Yeah, we're hearing you.
Okay, good. Well, let's start over, right? Okay, so starting over again. Sorry, I thought I was being heard. Sorry. So this session today is going to be a more live session, not with the PowerPoint presentation like we did the last time. I am going to show you how to close the year, what reports you should run, right? And what report you should run after you close the year, how we edit our TD4s, right? If you need to edit the TD4s. So first thing is what reports we should run. So you have closed all your posted all your payrolls for 2023, whether they are weekly, whether they are monthly, whether they are bi-monthly or fortnightly. Now, in our previous session, we would have explained the difference between all these payrolls and when you should do certain ones, especially for the scenario where we have the fortnight where 1 week is in December and then 1 week in January, right? But for these sessions, we are at the assumption that everybody is on the same page where when you go to your payrolls, all are posted, all up until December 31st, 2023, right? Whether they are weekly or monthly or bi-monthly or even fortnightly. In the case of the fortnightly payroll people, if it rolls over into 2024, your last payroll ending anywhere up until maybe the 24th of December, that payroll needs to be posted. Right, the next fortnight that is going to end up until the 7th of January. So it'll be from the 25th of December to maybe the 7th of January. Those people are waiting until the year is closed before they can run that payroll. Right. So what reports should we run? You go to reports, you go to yearly. Right. Now I'm just going to widen this here. We are going to run the employee year-to-date summary. When you click on options, you can leave it at all because you want to see all your departments and everything like that. Your view. So you're going to see all your employees with their salary additions, deductions, if they had any NIS, health charge, PAYE, net pay. Right? Goes around to the different pages, it's sorted by department, and then you get a grand total at the end. Right? This, your NIS, health charge, and PAYE should all balance with what you would have paid over to NIB and BIR for the year of 2023. Maybe not December as yet, because some you might now be doing December payment. Right? But this is where if you had anything, especially with PYU health check, now is the time to make up for that payment. Right? So your first report you're going to run will be the employee year-to-date summary. Now that report, as well as the employee year-to-date summary from payroll runs at this point in time, well, I'm going to choose 2023, should have the same information. Format is a little bit different, but it should have the same information. And I looked at it and it's the same amount of PAYE, NIS, and health charge. Right? So once these two reports are good and they are balanced, or if this one is correct, right, then you can do your end of year process. Now, in the end of year process, there is a reset that we can do afterwards. So if anything doesn't balance, once the employee year-to-date summary from payroll runs, which is the one that's highlighted right now. Once that report is correct, that is what is going to print on your TD4s. All right. So how do we close the year? Again, another recap. So we go to file. Sorry, we go to maintenance, task. We go to task and we do end year process. Or actually, no. First, we're going to go to file and backup. We always tell you all, do a backup before you do anything major in Micropay. We tell you do weekly backups, fortnightly backups, bi-monthly backups, or even monthly backups, right? So you click on backup. Now, a lot of you are having problems with your backup right now. It is because you either don't have permission to do it or you are selecting the wrong folder, right? If not, go directly on your server and do your backup and move forward, right? So please close all sections, click OK, and then you browse. You browse your machine to your backup folder, right? So I have this is my backup folder, and we also recommend that you all call your backup year end. What did I type? All right, year end. So you know this is your year end for 2023. Okay, you click on save, and it's going to tell you that the backup is done. If you get any other error, you know, you just need to read the error. Most of the time, it's going to be you don't have permission. So, right, you click OK. So your backup has been done. Next thing to do is close your year. Task, end year process. It's a warning. Don't be scared. You're about to clear your data. It cannot be undone. That's why we did a backup. All right. Click on yes. It's going to run through. Year end process, save changes. Yes. Now, this is your reminder window. We're seeing all who have annuities, all who have BIK. You also have your holidays and stuff in here. It's up to you if you want to print it. That's fine. Or you just click on exit and then Micropay will close and then you log back in. So let's do that. Exit and then we log back into Micropay. So I'm going to log back in. Right. Once the process is done and you log back into Micropay, you would see now, mine is a bit too small. You're going to see the current year will change to 2024. That's how you know that the process went through properly. Right? Now, from here now, you can go to your, no, before we go to reports, I'm going to do a little reminders for you. You go to File, Preferences. Now, there really isn't anything that you need to change in here because there are no statutory changes, but you just go to your PAYE, make sure it's what it should be, right? Go to your health chart, make sure it is this. Your NISC table, everything. You're going to come in here, however, right? And look at 2024 for your public holidays and see if you need to enter in the ones that is going to change. So you put in your you will put in Carnival, you will put in Easter, right? You put in Eid, you put in Diwali, holidays that's going to change. You come in here and you go to the next available line and you put in the name, you select your date. It's not going to be a fixed date. So these are the ones that you will update, right? So you update your holidays. So once you are done with that, then you can go back to your reports. You are going again to yearly reports. And now you will be able to get the employee previous year summary. You highlight the report, you click on options, the year will be 2023, you click on view. right? It's going to give you all the information here on your report. This is the information. So if I'm going to keep this report up and I'm going to pull my year-to-date summary from payroll runs, because these are the two reports that needs to balance. The year is going to be 2023. Now this report you can select if you want one department, if you want one employee, or if you want a period, if you're looking for certain information, and if you want to show details. The show details will show you all the payroll runs for all the employees, but we don't need to see that right now. All right. So I'm going to the totals here. So employee year-to-date summary from payroll runs 3998, 986.55, and the previous year file, which is your TD4 data, same amount. So this is what we want to do. We want to go through and make sure, especially our NIS Judge and PAYE is balanced, and you're going to have these two reports, right? The one from TD4 data and the one from your payroll run data, right? Once these two reports have been generated and they are balanced, then you can go on to your TD4 forms. Now, we have done the TD4s. It's not out on an update as yet. That may be out by the ending of this week. So you will have to do a software update in order for you to get the TD4 form itself. A lot of you, if you go to the TD4 forms right now, you're going to get load report fail. Yeah, load report fail. That is because you do not have the TD4 is not generated as soon as you close the year. It has to come from us in a software update, right? So I have the TD4 forms here. So I will highlight the TD4 form. I will click on options. The year will be 2023. Now, if I wanted to, well, I can't do 20, but if I wanted to go back, I could select again, like I said, I could select one employee. I could select a department, however I wanted. But 2023, I click on view. And again, it will have the same information that you would have on all of your reports. So we have the summary, then we have a listing, and then we have the TD4s. And then you could go through the different reports for the different employee. Right? So this is how you will generate your TD4s, for you to go through and check the two reports that we looked at previously and well, your TD4s. We also have in here a TD4 report. This is to get the TD4 form. This is a TD4 report. When you click on the TD4 report, it is showing you all the information that is in all the boxes from 1 to 14 on the TD4, just in a report format. So if you don't want, if you have hundreds and hundreds of employees, instead of printing it out to check it, you can generate this report and it has the same information. It cuts off the cents. There are no cents in the TD4s as well. So it's generated so that you can balance and make sure that this information here is correct before you actually print your TD4. Right? So it has all the TD4 information in here. And this is the TD4 report. Next thing here now is your CSV file. Again, you click on your CSV file. It will ask you now to create the CSV file for you. Now, again, we will always have this conversation where you are generating the CSV file. It is not an Excel file, right? You can open it only in Notepad. So I'm just gonna create a separate file because I did it earlier, and you click on save. It's going to tell you that it's saved. All right, click OK, and you can then close here. So I just want to go to that folder here. So this is where I did my backup, and this is where I generated the CSV file. Right? I can open it with Notepad. Now, the reason why I'm telling you use Notepad and not Excel, Excel skews the numberings in the system. Now, if you notice there's a lot of zeros here, I don't have any NIS number for any of my people, right? So Micropay will automatically generate zeros in this space. Right? It has your PAYE number, everything like that, the year, the person, the name, the address. Now, again, I don't have addresses for my employees. I only have it for one employee. But you know, that is a very important field for BIR. So you must have addresses in order to create your CSV file, because the file is going to be rejected if someone doesn't have an address. All right, and then it has all the other pay information to match your TD4 annual income is at the end. All right, so this is your CSV file. Micropay's job is to get this file to you wherever you want to upload it, download it to your machine, and then you log into their website, fill in the information, and upload your form. Right? Great. So that is the simplest way. All the reports that you need. Hopefully everything nice and easy and balancing like mine is, right? Because I take my time and balance my payroll every month or every week, and I check back everything. So I should not have any problems. Let's just say, whatever the reason can be, you need to edit the information on your TD4. A pension was never entered in the system and the person never got the relief, or it didn't add up properly and you had it as before tax and then it went to after tax and all the other little things that could happen. In Micropay, you can edit your TD4s. How do you do this? On top of Micropay, you have file and you have maintenance. You will see TD4 maintenance. Click on your TD4 maintenance. You will see the year will say 2023, because you can only edit 2023 after you have closed the year. So you must be in 2024 in order to get 2023 data. Great. So you see all the employees and you see this guy here. You say, here's what. I didn't pay him in payroll. I was paying him outside of payroll all the time, right? For whatever reason. I can come in here and change his salary to 85,000. But it has a charge as 429. This NIS is 2569. I'm not sure what the amount is. Net really don't matter, but if you have it, you can put it in, right? And you save it. Tell you that it was saved. Now, if you are trying to get a report now for him with this information, you are going to go to your reports yearly, your previous year summary, right? Which is the first one that we generated. So your previous year summary for 2023 is now going to have John Doe with this information, which is what you just put in, because that's what you want on his TD4. Now, if I pull a payroll summary from payroll runs for 2023, and I go to John Doe, it's only going to show the $1,200, because that is what is in Micropay as payrolls being processed for him. So these two reports now is going to be different, but you, the user, will know that it is different because you went and made this change in the TD4 maintenance. If you make changes like that in the TD4 maintenance, actually changing any bit of information, whether it's pension, whether it's before tax, whether it's after tax, whatever information that you change in here, when you pull your TD4, so I'm going to pull the TD4 for this one person, right? John Doe, 2023. So you see the information that I would have updated. So I'm seeing the 85,000. I'm seeing this different amount of NIS, different amount of health charge, because you have edited his TD4 maintenance to reflect what you want it to be, right? Not necessarily what you would have paid him through Micropay, right? So we have identified the reports that we need, which is in your reports, you go yearly. We have the previous year report and the employee year-to-date summary from payroll runs. These are the two that you're going to generate after you close the year. Before you close the year, you would use these two, right? The one from the year-to-date summary and the one from payroll runs. But once you close the year, the information moves from here to the previous year summary, right? So you can use these two reports. People who have start figures, you can use this one as well, right? It might be a minute amount, but you have start figures. This is the report you will use. All right. So you have this report, your previous year report, and then your TD4 forms. All right. And in the TD4 forms, when you click on options, just like any other report, there are different distinctive view will get you the TD4 form itself. This is your TD4 report. And then here you get the CSV file, all in the same one options. All right. You select a year. If you want the severance TD4, you can do that as well. Again, view to pull up the TD4 form. TD4 report will give you the TD4 report and then your CSV file, right? So I know if I go open to questions now, we're going to have a few, but I hope that this information so far, everybody's understanding it, right? So Kaylee, do we have any questions? All right, so I am seeing some questions coming up in the chat. So I'm trying to go back. So we have someone saying we would need to provide an update. We need to provide an update of software prior to creating the new year. You don't necessarily need to do the software update before you close the year. But definitely, if you had fortnightly pay and it was rolling from one year into the other, yes, you need to do the software update before. If you don't have fortnightly, you don't need to do it before. You can do it, like I said, later on in this week, maybe hopefully by the end of this week when we have TD4s itself out. Let me see. Right. If you have inconsistencies in, I'm assuming health to charge, how can we fix those? Well, it depends. Now, in the TD4 maintenance, so again, we're going to go maintenance, TD4 maintenance, there is a reset and then a reset all. Reset is to reset one employee. So if I go back to John Doe here, where we put in the $85,000 and then we're like, you know what? No, we are going to change it. And I click on reset. It will ask you to confirm reset of John Doe. It will revert to the different the payrolls that's in the system for him. Right, I saved that. So that means it went back now, all our reports are balanced because I didn't make manual changes. So you can do your reset or even the reset all after you have done your end of year process. Because it's only then you will get the TD4 information so you can do your end of year process. Now, when you pull your reports and everything is fine, you don't need to do a reset. All right, you see, all my reports balanced. I didn't need to do a reset. But if you have inconsistencies, you can do the reset and see if it fixes it. But in order for any fix to be done, you need to identify where the problem is. And if it's because there could be many variations of why you have inconsistencies, but you'll need to identify where it is, and then you can edit it here in the TD4 maintenance. So we have another one. If I restore the backup after I do the end year process, do I have to redo the, yes, well, if you did the end of year process and I go now and I restore the backup that I did prior to doing the end of year process, because for whatever reason I didn't put in a payroll or I needed to put in something or whatever, and I go and I restore. Restore is taking you back to the point of where you were at that point in time. So anything you did afterwards, if you had entered 10 employees afterwards, once you restore yesterday and then this morning I come in and I do work and I restore yesterday's micropay, you have to redo everything that you did, right? So yes, you will have to redo the end of year once you restore the backup from prior. Right, what causes a file to be rejected by BIR? Yes, so again, I am hoping by now, this is at our first year of doing CSV file, you have to remember in the employee file, even though BIR now still issuing BIR number with dashes and spaces, your BIR number should only be the number. No space, no dash, no dot, no full stop, no nothing. Right? So that now if they might issue a number that is only 6 numbers, you put in the 6 numbers, but when the CSV file is being generated, it will put in the extra 3 zeros to make it up. Right? The process for uploading the TD4s to BIR. The process of actually uploading the CSV file to BIR, that is between you and BIR. All Micropay can do is generate the CSV file for you. I can tell you that you go to reports, you go to yearly, we select TD4 form, you click on options, the year will be 2023, you click on CSV file, right? Now you can browse to anywhere on your system. Right? You create your file. This is the name of the file. See, I am only renaming it because every time I do it, I don't want it to keep writing over the one. So I am renaming it and I click on save. It's going to tell you that the data has been saved and it's telling you where you saved it to. Micropay job, like I said, is to generate that file for you. So when I go here, I will see this is the file that I just generated. Now the onus is on the client, you all logging to BIR. However, you do that in that interface, and this is the file that is going to be updated. All right. Well, this question that I'm seeing here is, can you explain why the TD4 forms will not be available immediately after close? Because it's a form, right? It's a form that we have to generate every time. Remember, TD4s is something prior to it being now, you have to do a soft copy. You had to wait until BIR actually issue the TD4 before you can get it to put the information on it. Right? So it's the same way. We have to wait until the year and you have to do a software update. It just doesn't generate TD4. It's a separate form. All right, it's a separate report in Micropay. So we will have to send it out to you. When you close the year, you are going to get the information that will be generated on the form by pulling you can actually pull the tax report, the TD4 report. You pull in your previous year summary, you're pulling your payroll runs, all this information, all should be matching, and that is the information that's going to go on your TD4. But you have to get a software update from us in order to actually get the TD4 full. All right, so there are many, many more. Well, if your reports don't balance, the first thing you can do is do the reset in the TD4 maintenance. But that point, it still doesn't balance. You need to pull both reports, go through the employees and see if it's every employee is different, if it's one employee is different, and then you need to identify where the problem is, so then we can see how best we can help you fix the problem. Right? All right, so if you have already closed the year because you were unable to enter the next bi-weekly without doing so, is that an issue with the information that is printed on the TD4s? I'm not sure of that question. When you say bi-weekly, you mean the fortnightly payroll. And if you had a fortnightly where it should have been December and January, you were supposed to close a year and then do the payroll. Yes, that information is going to affect your TD4s. Right? What are start figures? Right. Start figures is if you have, we do have clients with more than one database. So they would have moved an employee from one database to another. You would put in the start figures so that their PYE and stuff will calculate properly, right? And the start figures is in the employee file. You will see there's a tab that's called start figures, right? Now, start figures also for new clients who are now purchasing Micropay, and they started in the middle of the year and they have year to date as at the end, as at April, and they want to put in that year to date instead of having all the payrolls to generate from January till April. They can put in those year to dates in there under the start figures, so that when they start to run payrolls in Micropay, it will add in to the year to date start figures plus the payroll to give you a correct year to date total, right? But the start figures will always appear on that separate report that I showed you here, year-to-date summary with start figures. All right, so we have a lot of questions and I don't know if I'll be able to go through all. Kelly, if you're there, can you see if there are any ones that I've already covered? Because I
Okay.
know that I can answer the severance TD4 here. If you
Right.
had paid severance, right? Now you could pay the severance in or out of Micropay, that's up to you. But in order to generate the TD4 for the severance, you will see there here. Where is the severance? Right. You can wrong place. So you have the severance information that you put in here. If there's PAYE or whatever the severance is, you put in the information. And when you go to the yearly reports, I did mention it, that you select the person, select the year, and you check the box that says severance. And then the system will generate a separate TD4 with just the severance information. Right? I think we had more than one question on that.
Yeah, so another question here regarding that as well. Okay,
Right.
Lisa Bisasa, can you explain more about the pension features and how they affect the PAYE?
Right. So now that is going actually all the way back into payroll and setting up of your deduction, which is a pension deduction, right? Now, if the pension deduction should be set as a before tax deduction, right? Once that is done and it goes through all your payrolls, right, it will end up on your TD4s. I think I have someone with pension here, with the pension year-to-dates in here. And now this, when you are actually doing your TD4, so I'm going to go to the TD4. And it will show up here, the employer contribution to the, and the employee's contribution to the pension fund. So this can show on your TD4, but it all depends on the initial setup and how you have it set up, right? Now, if you did not set it up at all and you just want to put it into your TD4 now, you can by using the previous year file maintenance and updating it in here. And it will reflect on the TD4. Now, if you put it in now, it can't do anything where PY is concerned. But once it was set up properly at the beginning, when you're now putting in the pension for the person and it's a before tax and all of that, then it will, then it's going to affect your PY and things like that. Right?
All right, another question. We would like our traveling allowance separated and shown on the TD4. Is that something that we
Yes,
can
well,
do?
yeah, because you look, I have it here, this person here, travel and then other additions. So yes, it can be shown and it does show actually separate, but you have to take note that again, this has to do in the setup of Micropay, right? Of the additions itself. I don't know which payroll, I didn't have it in for all. That addition was somewhere. A bonus run. Actually, let me try it on this side. Your addition for the traveling to be put into that, it must have the word travel in the description. And then the TD4 will put that into the respective place. So your other additions is going to come here and any kind of travel will come under travel. Right?
All right, another question. Can you just go over where you said you need to use Notepad instead of Excel?
Right, so that is after the CSV file is generated. So when we generate the CSV file for the TD4s, right? So this is the file that I would have generated out of Micropay for you to upload to BIR. You go to the file, you right click and go to open with Notepad. This is just so you can view the file, right? So it has, and if you look at it, you would see all the information, the year, the BR number, the PAYE number, the employee BR number, the name. It should be like this line because this is the only one I think has all the information, right? The name and the address and the salary, how many weeks, and going down the road with all the information, right? Straight down to the end. It's going to have total income, health surcharge, everything like that. Right, so it's only to view the CSV file, we are telling you to open it in Notepad, not in Excel. Right, open it in Excel, it's going to change the numbers. Right, you see all these things here? It is going, this is how it's going to look in Excel, pretty much the same, but it is, the formatting is going to be different. And when you make changes and you edit this and you are uploading this, That's where you get problems with BIR and the website. Right? So we recommend that you do not use Excel, use it in a CSV file.
Okay, under preferences, what is the purpose of updating holidays?
Mainly for people who have time clocks, because you want to know people coming in and out for on public holidays. Actually, it's really only for the people who has time clock. So you would know that if they're working on a public holiday, because they may get different pay, salary, what time, dependent, things like that.
All right, can you please remind me where we go to update the annuities if there are changes, please?
Right. So this is annuities for the employees, right? So you go to the employee file and you select whoever the employee is, and you will see yearly annuity. You put it in whatever it is. Right. Now, this is something that you all should note. Every year, any employee who has a annuity or a pension fund or anything that they get a tax relief for, it could be tertiary, all of these things, they should all bring a TD1 for you before January payroll is completed, right? So that you can update the information in here, right? Now, Micropay is not going to remove it for you. It's up to you, the client. That's why, remember when we did the close off, there were reminders, right? You can get those reminders, well, not the reminders, but you can get your report, the annuity report that will show you this is what's in the system for whoever you're that's in the system, right? And you need to know if these are still valid information. So you should get TD1s from everyone, well, everyone who has any kind of annuity or mortgage or alimony or whatever that's going to affect taxes. You should get it from them.
All right, thank you, Anisi. And one last question I'm seeing here. If you did January 2024 payroll before you close the year, will it affect the 2023 data?
Well, definitely, but I don't think that Micropay will allow you to do a payroll dated 2024 if you don't close the year for 2023. So you should not have that happening. I hope I didn't leave out any of your questions.
All right, and I'd just like to add to that. So we would be sharing this recording of the webinar to everyone who has attended. So you can look out for that between tomorrow and Friday. All right, one more question. When is the update due?
You mean the one for TD4s is what you're asking me for, right? Yes, we will. Kelly, I'm hoping by the end of this week, you can make sure that that happens.
Yeah, it should be at the end of this week. Already working on it. Okay, all runs have been posted. However, when checking EMP year-to-date summary and employee year-to-date summary from P-Run, reports don't balance. All right, the team. Okay, sorry. Take
Yeah,
over.
no problem. Yes, you may have this problem, but again, like I said, you can do the reset when you close the year. But once your year-to-date summary from payroll runs is correct, right? The only thing that would cause differences is if you had, we do have clients that on post payrolls and they don't reset in during the year, things like that. But once your payroll run from reports, once your year-to-date summary from payroll run report is correct, and you matching this back with what you would have pay to bear and stuff, you can do the reset after you close the year, right? No, and it's up to you all to identify the problem, right? We we can generate the reports for you. Micropay can generate the reports for you, but you all have to be able to identify where the problems are, so then we can help you. All right, Kelly, go ahead.
Right. Some more question. Okay, which part on your TD4s do annuities show? Is this something you enter manually or it automatically shows up?
Um, Kelly. Once it's in the employee file, it is included here, right? You see, I had a $12,000, right, set up for me in the employee file as a TISPA, was an annuity. It is added into your total deductions per TD1. Someone who doesn't have any, it will be 90,000 plus the 70% of their NIS. In the case of me, it is 90,000 plus 70% of my NIS, as well as the $12,000. But this is where it goes. It's in here. Because remember, this is a before tax something, so it has to go with your relief items. The $90,000 is 70% NIS. If you had any kind of annuity, yeah, annuity, and I believe tertiary as well goes into there.
All right, next question. How will we know when the TD4 update is available? We will most likely send out an email. When update is ready, do we update software for the update?
Sorry, what was that? When what?
When update is ready, do we update software for the update?
I don't know if you asked that wrong, but but in Micropay, most of you all can go to updates and do the software update. Right now, a lot of you cannot do that because of how your network and your IT has things structured and all this kind of things. But you can ask them to do this for you. But you just come and logging into Micropay and you're going to updates and you're going to do a software update. Right?
Can we get the company stamp on the TD4?
Kelly, I'll let you take that one. Or you want me to take that one? You'll have to
Okay,
send us
well,
an official email telling us what it is you want, and we can see what we can do for you.
all right, any more questions? Follow up to that question, is it okay to submit without the company stamp to BIR?
Well, the thing is, remember now you are uploading the CSV file. So there's no room on the CSV file for, this is for the company to upload their BIR information. You will still need to print and sign a TD4 to give to your employee. So that's where you're going to have to sign and print and put a stamp on it. Remember, you don't have to physically send TD4 forms to BIR anymore, right? You're doing the CSV file that replaces that. But for you and the employee, you still have to print it and stamp it and sign it and give it to the employee. Right, Kelly, so I see that most of everybody now should be good.
Yeah. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the webinar. Thank you very much once again for joining. Thank you, Anisi, for answering all the questions and for taking us through the webinar. We hope that you all have a wonderful day ahead, and feel free to contact us should you have any questions. All right. Okay, well, have a nice day, everyone. Take care. Bye.